guys, I hope you're having the best day. In today's video, I am sharing 3 high protein vegan meals that you can make without any protein powder. So these meals all have over 20 grams of protein and you can eat them for breakfast or lunch. I probably would have it for like brunch. If you're in Australia, you'll know what I mean. At the moment, because we're in lockdown, we haven't been able to go to cafes, so I've really enjoyed making kind of like brunch style foods at home. So the vegan SHAKSHUKA, it's something that you would get a lot in cafes with eggs, but instead I've used beans and some tofu on top, so that's a really amazing recipe. I also have an avocado on toast with some added lentils for protein and a vegan omelette. This one was a bit of a trial. I'd actually never made a vegan omelette before and I decided to give it a go for this video. It actually turned out really well, so if you miss omelettes, I would recommend giving that a go. And this video is actually in collaboration with another YouTuber called Luke JR. I will link his channel below. We are doing a high protein series, so for the next 3 Sundays, we are posting a video featuring high protein recipes. So keep an eye out for that. If you are new here, please hit the subscribe button down below and click the notification button, because then you will be notified each time I post a new video. And with all that said, let's get straight into the video. So today's avocado toast recipe is a bit of a twist on the classic one, and it includes lentils as well as some mint, some vegan feta and some cherry tomatoes. So you want to start off by cutting up your cherry tomatoes just into halves, and then we are moving on to mashing up the avocado. Avocado is full of healthy fats and it's a great fruit to include in your diet. A lot of people suggest having at least half an avocado daily. It's really good for your skin and overall it's just a great fruit to have. So half an avocado as well as some salt and pepper to taste. And then I'm adding in a squeeze of lime. So I love the taste of lime, but I also use it because it helps keep the avocado nice and bright and fresh. Otherwise it starts to go a bit brown after a while. So I love adding in a bit of citrus there. And then I'm going in with some vegan feta. This is completely optional, but I happen to have some vegan feta at home and feta goes so well with smashed avocado, so I would highly recommend giving that a go if you have some available to you. And then I just stirred that through. So I wanted to show you the brand of lentils I'm using here because it's my favorite brand of lentils. It's the Annalisa organic lentils, and you can see here it has about 9 grams of protein per serve, which is really great, but they're also packed with fiber and other great vitamins and nutrients. So yeah, lentils are just so great to have in your diet. And now I am using some whole grain toast. This one's actually from Baker's Delight. It's the Cape Seed loaf. It's also packed full of protein. I think for 2 slices, you have about 12 grams of protein in that bread. So it's a really great source of protein and it's super delicious. And I love the grains in it as well. So then you just put all of your toppings on and then a little bit of salt and pepper to taste. And that's it. It literally takes 5 minutes and it's so yum. So I know it might seem a little weird to have lentils on toast, but honestly, it tastes delicious and I love it. You can try it out. This meal contains 24 grams of protein. It's just so easy and fast to make. And now it is time to make the delicious vegan SHAKSHUKA. If you've never had a SHAKSHUKA, it's usually actually made with eggs baked into it. So you cook it on the stove and then put it in the oven and the eggs bake into it. But I am doing it with tofu and beans instead. So first off, you want to chop up all your vegetables. I have half of a capsicum here, as well as half of a brown onion and a medium-sized eggplant. And okay, so I have this pet hate, which is undercooked eggplant. Sometimes you get something like a SHAKSHUKA or anything that has eggplant in it, and I hate undercooked eggplant. So what I'm doing for this recipe is I'm putting all of the eggplant, once it's chopped up, into a microwavable bowl, and then I put a bit of water in the bowl, put a lid on it, and put it in the microwave for 5 minutes. And that makes it super soft, and then when you put it into the pan with your other ingredients, it is all soft and cooked and delicious. So what I'm doing here is just cooking off the capsicum and onion with a bit of olive oil. And now I'm adding in some spices, some garlic powder, some cumin, and some smoked paprika. So the smoked paprika is what really makes this dish. I highly recommend buying that spice if you don't have it already. It gives this dish a smoky deliciousness that it's just really, it's like the secret ingredient. So I highly recommend smoked paprika. So now I'm adding in that cooked eggplant. You just want to fry that off a bit so that it's all well combined and the spices kind of mix throughout all the veggies. And then we're going in with some diced tomatoes. So I have a 400ml can, or 400 gram, whatever it is, can of diced tomatoes. And then I just added in a little sprinkle of oregano just for some extra flavor. And you want to cook that all through. Now I'm also adding in some salt and pepper to taste. I actually had this salt that was mixed with some chili flakes, so if you like your food spicy, I would recommend adding in some chili flakes here. Otherwise, just regular salt and pepper. And again, just cook that down so that all the flavors are well infused. And now we are adding in our first source of protein, which is the cannellini beans. So I'm adding in 1 can of cannellini beans here. Cannellini beans are super high in protein, and they're also, as they are a legume, they're high in fiber as well. They go so well with this dish, and you could actually just make baked beans and leave it at that, but I'm going to go in with some pasta sauce. So I decided to use this one because I had it at home and it was a roast vegetable one, so there was a few bits of eggplant and zucchini in there, just to add a bit more flavor. If you don't have any pasta sauce, you could add in more diced tomatoes or some tomato paste. It just gives it a bit more depth of flavor. So then I added in a few more spices. It's just the spices I had added in previously. I had just tasted it and thought it needed a bit more. So at this point, taste it, see what you think. You might need a little bit more salt and pepper. You might want some more paprika. You give it a taste and add what you think it needs. So now it's time to add in the silken tofu. I'm just crumbling this up with my hands and placing it down, basically what you would do with an egg in the traditional dish. And then we are cooking it in the oven at 200 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes, or 390 degrees Fahrenheit if you use the imperial system. And now that it's done, you want to take it out. So I actually had some Turkish bread warming up in the oven as well, just to have on the side. And now I'm putting some vegan feta on top of the shakshuka. This is completely optional, but it just adds an extra creaminess to it that is super yum. Now it's time to cut up your bread. If you don't have any Turkish bread, you could just use regular wholemeal bread and put it in the toaster. But I had this Turkish bread roll, so I decided to heat it up in the oven, and it was super crispy on the outside and delicious. Look how good that looks. Oh, this recipe is so good, guys. It's just so full of flavor, full of protein, full of nutrients, and it just tastes amazing. It's something that I would pay for at a restaurant 100%, and I'd be so happy if this came out. It's seriously so delicious. I like to serve mine with about a cup of spinach just to get some extra greens in, but if you don't really want spinach, you don't have to do that. But spinach is definitely packed full of nutrients and a great addition to this meal. So this meal contains about 28 grams of protein, which is amazing. Now onto the tofu omelette. So the ingredients I've used in the omelette are nutritional yeast, chickpea flour, salt and pepper, silken tofu, some spices, and some hummus. I also used some vegetables. I had mushrooms, cherry tomatoes, onion, and spinach, but you could use whatever you have. So firstly, to make the omelette mixture, we put all of those ingredients into a food processor and blend that up. I will put the exact ingredients in the description box below because I did add some more things later on because I tasted it and realized it needed a bit more. So I'll give you the exact details below. So you can see here I'm adding in a bit more nutritional yeast, a bit more spices, a bit more hummus, just to get it to the exact right flavor profile that I thought was perfect for this dish. It's actually amazing how you can make a vegan omelette. This is the first time I'd ever done it and I was stunned. It actually turned out so well. So into your pan, we are going to cook off those vegetables. I also added in a clove of garlic here because I wanted a bit of extra flavor. And then I added in a drizzle of olive oil, and you just want to cook that until they start to become brown and the tomatoes are soft. So I quickly washed that pan, and then we are spraying it with some olive oil and putting the omelette mixture in. You want to flatten out the mixture so that it cooks evenly. And I think I left it on the pan for about 5 minutes on a medium heat, and you can see it bubbles up. And then once you think it's kind of got dry around the edges, then you want to add in your cooked vegetables and then straight into the oven at 200 degrees Celsius. I left that there for about 10 minutes and then take it out, and it is time to do the hardest part of this dish, which is to fold the omelette over. So because the mixture is a bit different to traditional eggs, it doesn't really, omelettes in itself, like regular egg omelettes, I'm pretty sure they're hard to fold over. I don't know, I haven't made an omelette ever, I don't think, like an egg omelette. So anyway, what I did was, as you could see, it was breaking. So I put my plate onto it and then flipped it over, and that worked really well. So give that a go. And yeah, I just topped it with some relish, my favorite relish. I'll link that below, as well as a piece of toast with some avocado. Honestly, guys, this was really surprisingly good. I was very skeptical when I was cooking this. When I tasted the batter, I was not sure if it would turn out very well, but it was seriously amazing. So if you try this out, let me know. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you being here. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and leave a comment down below letting me know which recipe was your favorite. Personally, my favorite is the SHAKSHUKA, although I love all of them. The SHAKSHUKA was just seriously, so yum. So yeah, let me know what you enjoyed the most, and if you tried any of the recipes, please tag me on Instagram. I would love to see what you come up with. And I hope you have the best day. I hope that you are healthy and well, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.